Good evening. So bonus mark 4, question number 1. So here to discuss the differences between Aristotelian law and Newton's law for dynamics. So let's talk about Aristotelian. Everyone knows that this is incorrect now, since we build up our physics around Newton's law, physics about kinematics and dynamics. So let's talk about Aristotelian law. So even if it's wrong, Newton wouldn't have come up with this without the work from Aristotle. What he believed in natural state of a body is the state of rest. So it means if you throw something in the air, it will come back down and stay at rest. So because those days the philosophers, they thought 4 main elements, you got water, earth, fire, and water, earth, fire, and air. So it's pretty much most of the science and philosophy went in hand. So all the Aristotelian laws were made up, came up with philosophies, not actual experiments were done. So he believed all moving objects tend to slow down and comes to rest. To be honest, it is true. If you, in a practical world, you think about friction. So and the friction is there. So what went wrong with Aristotle? He did not consider friction. So every time he did push something, it tend to slow down and stop. So that's what he means by the body's natural state of body is at rest. So he came up with that all objects tend to slow down and comes to rest due to he didn't consider the friction factor. And he said a net force is required for a mass or an object to continue its uniform motion. So he said the net force is is proportional to velocity. So we know that's not true. So, and the other thing, he spoke about falling objects. Aristotle made the conclusion how heavy objects fell faster than light objects, and we know it's not true. So I'll quickly show you that why I reckon it's not true. So you got this glass, my spec case, and a pencil. If you drop them in the same height, both of them drop at the same time. So you can't say the heavy object travel faster than the light object. So and after about a few thousand years later, so Isaac Newton came along and he built up on top of what Galileo Galilei mentioned. So what he came up with is simply a moving object tend to continue to move in a straight line or / uniform motion when net force is 0 Newton. And then he said when there's a net force acting up on an object, it is proportional to its acceleration for a constant mass. So if you think about the first law up there about uniform motion, you think about when you actually ice skating. So you can tend to say there's a really low amount of friction or no friction at all in a way. So you actually need to put some force to, after you start moving, you actually have to put a force to stop, because otherwise you're going to keep continuing to move. So those are the main differences I found with the Aristotelian law and the Newton's law. Thank you.